reckon? Nice, huh? This is a Velocette. Started out as a 350. It's a special Velocette. It's a Cammy Velo, which were unusual in themselves, in that the camshaft is in the top of the head here, above the valves, driven by gears. And this was reserved really for their premium models in the ranges. Norton had a Cammy Norton. This is a Cammy Velo, and this was known as K series because the Goodman company who owned Velo were actually German, and so K is for camshaft in German. They had two sports models, the KSS and the KTS. They're both identical mechanically. The difference was the KSS has a 21-inch front wheel and very thin mudguards, front and back. This is a KTS, which has thicker mudguards, better balancing, and better weather protection obviously. And again, the front mudguard, it's got a big valance on it, and it goes up. And a slightly smaller front wheel, 19-inch front wheel, but to all intents and purposes, they're the same bike. I had one of these before, and it was a beautiful thing, perfectly screwed together. The disadvantage was it wasn't very fast, and I found out that they were built for racing, and because Velocette lost money on every single bike they sold, that they detuned them for the customer for the road, so they had to make road versions. And so when the young tyro would come in the 30s and say he wanted to try a Cammy Velo, just like was raced in the TT, they would try and put him off, and he would insist and take one out for a test ride, and he'd ride it and it would be all right. It'd be nicely made, very expensive, but no more than all right. And that was because the 350 lost them money. So what they did is they detuned it so that nobody would buy it. And then instead, they offered you the 500 overhead valve bike, which was cheaper, faster for the road, and more accessible. You can have one of those tomorrow, sir. So the Cammy Velos are always a bit thin on the ground. So when I sold mine, I didn't really miss it because it was beautiful, but just a bit slow. And then I was offered this a few years back, 5-6 years ago, and I've had it ever since. And somebody thought the same as me. So this engine, instead of being a 350cc, is nearly a 500. It's got a 481cc with a Manx Norton piston in it, which involved a ton of work to get that to fit. The head is big bore, so it's enlarged inlet ports. It's got this massive carburettor fitted, full race camshaft in there, and these cylinder fins are bigger, so these are more like a KTT, which was their pure racing bike. And it's lovely, it's immaculate. It's girder forks, drum brakes, usual pre-war stuff, fishtail exhaust, but you'll never guess why it was called a fishtail. And it sounds glorious, and is very, very, very fast. It does, I don't know, nearly 100 miles an hour out of it, and I like it very much. And 4-speed, so brake is on this side, gears are on the other side, and pre-war bikes, 1 gear down and 3 up to change. So brake on the left, which does the rear brake, and in other respects it's standard beautiful pre-war bikes. I think these are the golden age of motorcycles because there was a lot of mechanical know-how. Bikes were built by craftsmen on low wages using the latest machine tools, but they weren't machine built. After the war, quality suffered because they needed to make squillions of bikes, so they were totally different. So the late 30s really are the last of the golden age bikes, and it, yeah, I mean, come on, let's be honest, it looks fantastic, doesn't it? Why wouldn't you want to own this? It's fast, it charges, it does everything. The pre-war ones, Velocettes have always got a reputation for two things. One is they're difficult to start, and the other one is the clutch is an abomination. Now the clutch is an abomination, to be honest, in my opinion. It could be better. You just have to fiddle with them until you know how to use them. They work in a different way to an ordinary clutch. Once you get used to it, it's fine, there's no problem. Starting these, the gearing ratio is very different. So when you kick the bike over, the piston doesn't move up and down as quickly or as far, and so you have to get everything just right. Now the pre-war ones are worse than the post-war ones for that, and then when you amplify, this one is putting out probably double the power of a standard 350 Cammy Velo, it makes starting it very difficult on certain occasions. Sometimes I'll start it first kick, other times I will sit there and I'll be kicking it for hours, which is why I'm no idiot. I started the video with it running. But you know, while we're here, should we give it a couple of kicks and see if it starts? But if it doesn't, don't hate me. All my bikes start first kick, as you know, except this one, which doesn't always, in fact hardly ever does. So, but we'll have a go. So you need to bear with me. I probably need to put the phone down. We retired the ignition, that's fully advanced. We retired the ignition to about there. Then we try and find a position for the kickstart. I'm going to have to put the phone down, hang on. Talk amongst yourselves. We're going to find a position for the kickstart. So you find top dead centre and then you ease it over to about there. And then with a bit of luck, it'll kick and it'll go. No. Okay, so now we try again. Go to the other top dead centre. And we'll try once more. Nearly. That's all I'm going to do on the video because it's quite boring and you can't see it. But anyway, trust me, it's a fantastic bike. It goes really fast. It goes off the clock. Well, it doesn't go off the clock, actually, that's a lie. It's 120 mile an hour speedo on this one. But it does about 95, and I'll be honest, anything over about 85 my bottle goes on a bike with really skinny tyres, no brakes, no rear suspension at all, only that, bit of spring in the saddle and girder forks. But it's probably the fastest pre-war motorcycle I've ever ridden. Anyway, I hope you like it. It's a 1937, I think, a Velocette KTS overhead cam special, because it's got the special engine. Otherwise it's pretty much a stock bike. I hope you like it. Try.